Welcome back to My Car Shop. Today we're going to continue working on our 70 Challenger project that we have dubbed Stitches, because we are fabricating everything by hand to repair the chassis, floor pans on this car. So if you saw the last episode, we hand built the piece of frame rail for the passenger side rear. Today we're going to start moving forward on getting it ready to install and possibly removing the old rusty frame rail out of the car and starting to test fit the new frame rail in the car. Let's watch the show intro and I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
Again, the shop is a mess and I apologize, but I've got a burn on and I want to get stuff done on the car. Just motivated, so I'll get out here and feel motivated to put things away once I probably trip on something and twist my knee again and end up limping around for a few days. I've been doing so well with my knees, I know I've been getting careless, and for those of you who weren't aware, all of last year, for a big chunk of last year, I was having problems with my knees, and so things are good, I'm walking well, but that'll usually be what happens is I do something out here and then have to push the walls back. So it's just clutter and tools need to be put away and stuff, so it's not that big a deal, but I get focused on the project and everything else just gets shoved aside, and right now I want to move, so that's what we're going to do. So as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be continuing to work on stitches today. I want to get this old piece of frame rail out of the car, get the new piece of frame rail prepped to be in the car, so I'll probably start with the prep first because my philosophy is I don't want the car to be sitting without a piece of frame in it for any longer than necessary. I'm very confident that even taking the frame out of the passenger side, the car is going to be a lot more stable than the driver's side was, and the driver's side is certainly a lot flimsier, as we've seen in other episodes. It didn't move at all, and all the supporting I did was basically pointless, but better safe than sorry. But I'm pretty dang confident that I can just take the one out of this side without having to support everything the way I was. I still might, but it is kind of in the way, so if I can make it easier on myself, we'll just blow that old piece of frame rail out of there as quickly as we can once I have the new one further. So we need to make the dimensions for where that V part is, so we can kink that frame up, and well, I don't need to tell you about it. Let's just show you, right? That's what you're here for. Let's just do it. So we know that we have this drops down from here, from the back of the spring perch to the bumper mount to where it goes into the frame here. And my recollection is it's 11 or 11 and a half inches. I don't remember the exact dimension. So I want to make the new frame exactly the same, and it's looking like it's 11 and a quarter maybe. I think I cut it at 11. Yeah, I cut it at 11. Definitely can tell I cut it at 11. So it's 11 inches. So what I need to do is take that piece of frame rail, determine which end is going to be back, which end is going to be front. And then what I did was I sliced it. And here I go again. I'm talking about what I'm going to do instead of just doing it. So let's just do it. So we're going to measure out our 11 inches from this end here, so that we can make our slice. Wished I had a bandsaw, so I'll do this with the Sawzall. I think that's what I did last time. So there we go. Now I need to just make sure that I go down straight. Because it would be very easy to walk. You don't want to walk. Okay, and I want to do it on the inside so you can see the saw blade, which won't be as easy. Again, just a ballpark. so I think I'm ready to go ahead and buzz that down. Okay, that's a problem. What the heck did I do? This line is not at 11 inches. I don't know what I measured. Oh, the edge of my, gotta watch that. The edge of my tape measure caught up here, so yeah, I was off a half an inch. That would have been fun. That's why you always double check yourself. All the other lines are good, it's just this one. I don't know what I did with my black marker. A little frustrating, but it'll be alright. Okay, there we go. Again, it's just a ballpark line. I don't really want it to be fussy. I could get a square, but what we're going to do is cut this, remember, and then be able to buckle it. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but we obviously want it to be close. So let's go ahead and get her done. I'm going to try to put something inside of there to clamp against, if I can find something. Yeah, I need one more. Oh, there we go. Need a little something to give me some traction so that as I'm cutting this, it's not flopping all over the place. Okay, just go past the end of that plywood, or that 2x4. Just use a little 2x3 and a little block of brass, and that'll work. Okay, so you can see that I did a slice here, like I did on the other side, and I've got it so it folds up inside of itself to make that angle, and then I'll be able to just squeeze this together and weld it, do a little hammer and dolly work, and it'll come out perfect. And then on the top, like before, I just put a couple little fill pieces in there to do the job. So just roughing it in, but it's closer now. There are a few other things that need to be done in this as well. I'm making my decision on whether or not I'm going to mount those. There are a couple of, there's a plate that goes in here that there was chassis mounts for shipping was on this side, and I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then probably not going to put that in there, but got to think about it. And then up in here is where the suspension stop goes, so there's some pocket nuts I'll need to put in there as well. But I think I probably want to take the next step now and try and remove that piece out of the car, because I think we're close to being ready to start test fitting this piece and getting it in there. And that's going to be quite a bit of job and work to get that done. There's a lot of finagling because this piece is a lot bigger than the one on the other side. So we're good to go. Definitely not fooling around now. I'm going to take the plasma cutter and just blow this frame rail out of here. So that should go relatively quickly, because I'm just going to use it to cut the welds, the spot welds, cut along here, blow along the side here, and make short work of it to get that piece out of there. So this should go pretty quick, and that frame chunk should be out of there. We'll have to do some cleanup work afterwards, but yeah, it should go pretty quick. Okay, frame rail is out and nothing moved at all, so that's good. I was checking it the whole time. So we just got to get that front piece out now. We'll go around there and show you what we got. So there we go. We just got to cut that last little 12-inch section out of there, and we're good to go. So I'm still going to probably pull that shot cross number out, but that at this point isn't stopping me from getting this done. So yeah, we're good. I think I'm just going to buzz across there and run across the top on both sides, and then I'll peel out the last little bit of that afterwards. That's my guess. But we'll see what I do, because I don't know. I figure it out as I go. Plasma cutter overheated, so we got to wait a minute. Duty cycle is pretty good on it, but when you're doing that much cutting with it, it can tend to overheat. So I lied. It wasn't the duty cycle. It was the compressor. I forgot to turn the compressor on when I came out here because I was recording. So as soon as that pumps up a little bit, we'll be able to go back at it. I've got just a few more to do. I got to finish this one. There's one here, one here. There's probably a couple more on the inside, but yeah, right there. They're not very obvious, and then I'll be able to peel that bottom edge off, although a lot of it feels like it might already be. Oh no, it's right there. Okay. So yeah, I should be able to just take the air chisel and blow that out of there. So. So we're in the early stages of test fitting and winging it as we go, of course. I still don't have the piece of frame out of the back here, but so far things are lining up pretty decent. It's matching the other side pretty well, so I think we're good. As I knew we were going to have issues up in the front, I'll show you what we got going on up there for a minute, or in a minute. But overall, yeah, I think we're pretty good. So lots to do, obviously, but pleased with it's going. So the old piece of frame rail is still back here. If you remember in the last one, I had to do some modification to the frame itself here, the new piece, to make it fit onto that spring shackle. So that's nothing that I didn't already anticipate. And let's take you around down front and show you what we got going on down there. So I knew I was going to have to split this and trim this up in here to blend in. And the decision I need to make next is whether or not I'm going to make one piece Brad, I know you would prefer that I did that. You'd prefer I made all of it, but I kind of was leaving this with the idea of either this piece is really good and solid here, so I'm still leaning towards blending this all together, leaving this here, and bringing a piece like from here down, which I know only leaves about an 8-inch piece. The other option is obviously to make a whole piece that goes down in there. It's a lot more complicated to make, but as you know, I made one on the other side, so it's not that big a deal to do that. Being as this one I don't have to do anything with past this point down here, it might be just as easy to just build this right in the car. So I've got to do some pondering on that, but it's fitting up in there good. It needs to go up more. I broke 2 of my squeezy clampy thingies, so I need to get some more of those. And this obviously needs some work here, not as much as it might look like. It's fitting pretty well, but I need to be able to squeeze all this stuff together here, so I need to go and get another squeezy clamp for that, and do some pondering and engineering, design thinking about all of this as well. So yeah, we're getting there though. It's up in place pretty good. I mean, it's down a little bit from the floor, but not bad. And I think it's down as much as anything because this still needs a little trimming in here. So I just splayed that open like that and got it so it would slide over that frame, and then I'll be making decisions. I got quite a bit of overlap in there now. Could use some more, but yeah, like I said, I've got to do some pondering. The thing that impressed me is, just a minute, let me get up out of here and I'll show you. It's still a little bit low because there's trimming to do around the spring mount back here. But again, we're all just test fitting. All I did was make a blank, and now I have to start doing all of the tweaking to make it go. But you can see we've got a little bit of our thing. This needs to go up, that needs to go up, which is going to make this V be a little bit more in there. So, yeah, very happy with the way it's going so far. Very happy. The thing that impresses me the most, sorry, I hope my hair's not a mess. The thing that impresses me the most is with that frame rail out of there, the flexibility in this quarter panel, that little bit of frame flex or a little bit of body flex is still there. It hasn't changed. So that tells me that everything is in pretty decent shape in here. Like I said, they all move a little bit. I've had cars that had no framework. They were basically rust-free cars, and if you jacked them up and put down pressure on them, the doors wouldn't shut right. So they all move a little bit in these unibody cars, and that's all taken into the design. So if you can't live with a little bit of body flex, put your subframe connectors in, and if you can't live with that, put a roll cage in. But that's why we do subframe connectors first of all. That takes care of most of this. Keeps the body from twisting and also keeps it from flexing, or minimizes that, and of course building the triangle does more. But I did want to point that out, that this quarter panel, the little bit of flex that's in it moving up and down, is just exactly what it was before with the rusty frame rail. So that's very good. I need to make some decisions here about what I'm going to do next, so let me gather my thoughts and we'll come back. Well, unfortunately, I'm out of time. I didn't realize what time it was, and I didn't get out here as early as I wanted to today, and that's the way it goes. So I need to make a decision here on whether or not I'm going to continue on with this episode tomorrow or just go ahead and put this out. So I will be thinking about that before I do a wrap up, and we'll go from there. But we've made great progress so far. There's obviously a lot of fabricating that needs to be done, and I am leaning towards just going ahead and making that entire piece in there, but I really need to think about that. So as you know, I say things and then I come back and change my mind, and I say things and come back and change my mind, and I'll do that 6 or 8 times in this process. But where the other piece of frame over there I couldn't build in place, this one I almost can. So leaning towards doing that is going ahead and making both sides, blending it into what's in the front, and then cutting out the existing in there and replacing it and then capping it off inside, etc., similar to what I did on the other side. Not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on anything, because as I said, I tend to do this pretty instinctively and intuitively. I'm going to do what makes the most sense for the project without dragging it out into a major ordeal, but I also obviously want it to be very strong. So there's a lot of things that need to be done. I still want to get that center cross member out of there. I'm a little bit concerned about torquing on the frame on the other side too much. So I want to be careful if I do go ahead and do that, which I probably will. So yeah, this may be a pause or this may be the intro to the end. I'm not sure yet. So you'll just have to stay tuned and find out, because even I don't know right now the direction I'm going. But I've got to run to town. I'm going to pick up another couple more of those squeezy clamps. Like I said, I've broken a couple of them. So while I'm in town, it's pizza night tonight, and I've got to go start making pizza crusts. So nothing gets in the way of pizza night. That's the night my wife and I look forward to every week. I make some really good thin crust pizza from scratch, and so it's time. I got to get some dough raising. As is typical of me, I can't quit. So decision is pretty well made, I think. I was concerned about fire because I knew there was rat's nest or mice nest or something still down inside of that frame rail, so I was blowing it out real well, and took a couple of plugs out of the floor to blow up inside, and saw dust blowing out somewhere under the car that I hadn't, it shouldn't. So I went under there and looked, and right next to one of the body alignment holes in the frame rail, there's a big spot of rust that pretty much makes the decision that I think I'm just going to be making that entire piece again, just like I did on the other side, and then we'll basically have made an entire frame rail from front to back. So in retrospect, or in whatever, I don't know that it's retrospect, but anyway, I think that's cool because we'll have made the entire frame rail. So unless I change my mind, because I can, I think it's just going to be too many patches to just not go ahead and do it. And there's enough of it there that I can really take that pattern that I've got up here, and I'll make another one. I don't want to mess with this one, but I can really take this piece, make another pattern to fit the exactly what I need under there, and make those side pieces, get it all put together, put it on the shrinker stretcher with the L pieces inside, et cetera, like I did before, and then just join it to the other piece that I've made. I'll make sure I get a good overlap that way where they join together, and it'll be stronger than factory. So that's the direction I'm going to go, but I'm going to sleep on it, and that also makes the decision for me as far as this. I think that's going to do it for this episode. A little bit shorter than normal, but I think it's a good place to conclude. So the next steps will be probably on this project making the S piece for the passenger side, getting that constructed so we can get it in the car. But we really have made a big thrust forward. Yes, this is going to put the project out another couple of weeks. I was hoping to have it back on its feet here in another week, but it's going to take me a week or two to build that piece with the amount of time that I have, because I can't do this 8 hours a day. I wish I could. If it was 8 hours a day, I would have it done tomorrow, but there's other things in life, so that's the way it goes. So I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the process of not only seeing the work, but seeing me work through the process of what I do as I'm fabricating things, because that really is the point of this channel. We call it Stitches for a reason here, and you need to adapt, you need to change, you need to be able to make adjustments. The plan is fluid, so it's they're not rules, but they're kind of more like guidelines. Does that sound familiar? Anyway, so that's where we're at with this. So thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you who are here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It benefits all the other viewers, it benefits you, and of course it benefits me for the channel to continue to grow. If you're involved in any Mopar forums or anything like that, that you think other people would enjoy seeing this kind of stuff, please feel free to share the link. It's youtube.com/mycarshop. It's pretty simple to share, and the more people we get over here, the more I'm going to be able to offer. Oh, and one more thing. I've got a really exciting surprise coming. Something happened here right before I went to Texas, and yeah, stay tuned for that. You're gonna like it. So we're on Instagram and Facebook /mycarshop, and I think probably that's gonna do it. So oh yeah, I forgot, didn't I? Rock on, guys.